function is to record the following that do not belong in any of the special journal, such as the purchases, sales, cash receipt, and cash payment journal. So, we write in the general journal when there is correction of errors, opening entries, withdrawal of inventory for honors on use, adjustment, sales or purchases of non-current asset on credit, and transfer. The features for general journal has 5, which are date, details, folio, debit, and credit. For date, it records the date that transaction occurred, and for details, it records the accounts affected in the transaction and a brief description of the transaction. And for folio, it records the folio number on the source document. While debit and credit, it records the amount of debit and the amount of credit. This is the example for general journal.
The function of purchase journal is to record good purchase on credit. Second, source document, invoice received from a supplier. The features of purchase journal. First, date. This column record the date when the purchase was made. Particulars. The name of the supplier from whom the merchandise was purchased on credit. Invoice number. This column contains the invoice number which serves as a reference for the transaction. Folio. It records the account number to which the entry will be posted in the ledger. Amount. This is where the invoice amount is recorded, representing the total value of the purchase. Function of sales journal is to record credit sale and source document, invoice sent to account receivable. Features of sales journals. Date. This column record the date when the purchase was made. Particulars. The name of the supplier from whom the merchandise was purchased on credit. Invoice number. This column contains the invoice number which serves as a reference for the transaction. Folio. It records the account number to which the entry will be posted in the ledger. Amount. This is where the invoice amount is recorded, representing the total value of the purchase.
Written inward journal. Function of written inward journal is to record transaction involving goods written by a customer. Then source document for written inward journal is credit note issued to a customer. Features written inward journal is date of return, when the goods were returned. Next is customer information, name or account number of the customer returning the goods. Number 3 is invoice number. This a reference to the original sale invoice. Lastly, description of returned goods, detail about the item returned. This is example for written inward journal. It has date, details, note number, folio, and amount. Written outward journal. Function of written outward journal is to record transaction involving goods returned to a supplier. Source document for written outward journal is record credit note sent by the supplier. Features of written outward journal is date and reference, recording the date of the return and a reference number for tracking purpose. Number 2 is supplier details, noting the name, address, and contact information of the supplier from whom the goods were originally purchased. Number 3, item details, listing the return item, including description, quantity, unit price, and total amount. Lastly, authorization document documenting the approval or authorization for the return, often with a signature or initial. This is example for return outward journal. It has date, particular, credit note number, folio and amount.
My name is Turkashini. My metric number is 01 DKB23 F1007. Today I would like to present about the cash journals, and there's two types of cash journals. One is cash receipt journal and another one is cash payment journal. What is the functions about the cash receipt journal? The cash receipt journal is a special journal used to record all the cash receipt transactions happen in accounting. Every debit, what comes in and what goes out in cash in bank account. Thirdly, credit sales are not recorded in this accounting journal because there isn't any cash collected in those credit sales transactions. And the last one, what is the source documents? The most common are the receipt and the cash register summary. There's this example of the cash receipt journal was given, and the features of the column is, the first is the date on which day the transaction happened, and the name of the account credited, and the folio number, and the amount of cash received. So the second one is cash payment journal. What is the functions of the cash payment journals? The first one is a special journal used to record all transaction is which cash is paid or decreased. The second one is the cash payment journal contains columns of general transactions, account payable, purchase discount and cash. So for the source documents are payment vouchers and check. There's the example of cash payment journal. So the date on which day the transaction happened, and the following column was the name of the amount credited and the folio number and the amount of cash received.
That's all. Thank you.